Hey, it's Brent. Just wanted to jump on before this episode starts and say that I am aware that my audio on this one does not sound the best. I think it was a problem in recording. I've tried to clean it up. Jeff sounds good. Mine is not the best. So just a heads up. I'm aware of it. I tried to fix it for you, but I did what I could. So my apologies that I don't sound the best on this episode. And thanks for listening. Hey there, welcome to the Field Trip Podcast. My name is Brent Terhune. Joining me for the fifth or sixth or 10th time on the show is Mr. Jeff Oskay.
Hello.
Jeff, thanks again for being on, and our topic at hand, which you were here last year for this topic. That's why I invited you back, is essentially things people got stuck in their body 2021 edition.
Oh, I can't wait.
And I'm sure I asked you last year, have you ever gotten anything stuck in your body?
In my body. No. Other than like a wasp stinger.
Yeah.
That's the only thing stuck in my body.
It's probably something that you didn't put there. So, which let's get some plugs out of the way. You're a touring stand-up comedian. What do you want to plug? Anything, Jeff?
No.
Well, I'll plug something for you.
Okay.
Your failed to mention news that you do almost daily. You can watch for the videos.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, and you just had one that I really liked, and it's close to putting stuff in your body, but not quite, because the guy said the drugs wrapped around his penis weren't his.
Yes. Yeah. He was holding him for his friend's penis.
Such a funny joke. Such a, like, that's one of those where you're like, that's such a simple twist on a premise already that then you get mad that you didn't think of it, and I get mad that you thought of it, Jeff.
I didn't think of it.
Okay, cool.
That was that was basically a take on some listener who wrote in.
Okay, cool.
Dimension. So I try to include one or two listener failed dimensions every week. And if they do good, I don't tell people that the listeners wrote it. And if they do badly, I give the listener credit. That's
true. Yeah. It's the same thing as when people say, "How was your set?" And I say, were you in the room?" And they say, "No." I say, "I killed. You weren't here, so I killed."
I like it.
Yeah, but failed to mention news. It's a topical. You're getting today's news stories with your punchlines or listener punchlines if they suck.
Right. They're mostly they're mostly my punchlines. And it's done what I thought was very over the top hackily. Like but according to the people who are writing in, they don't get that. They just they're like, have you ever been funny ever? Do you understand how comedy works?
Yes.
Comments. I get a lot of comments like that.
Yeah, people that
Jeff
have never
Oskay
done
is the worst one on the show. Things like that.
Well, that we all tend to focus on the negative ones. I'm sure there are positive ones too, but I know you, Jeff. You're gonna go to the one that you're like, he had a stray beard hair. That's what I do. And
Actually, it does. That's the thing. It doesn't bother me. I don't like compliments.
Okay.
So what's funny to me is when people shit on me and hearing what they and being like, "Oh, well, you don't get it," or "That's really funny. That was really good." Like it doesn't. What some random person on the internet thinks of me, I could give two shits less about.
Yeah.
But, so a long time ago when my son was like 4 or 5. I have some YouTube videos up, and surprisingly on the YouTube videos, there's some people saying some horrible things to me in the comments. There's some good comments, but there's also some people who are like, "I hope you die," or, shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, my son went on and started responding from his mom's account, who has the same last name as me. "You leave my dad alone, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, dude, now they're going to make fun of your ass.
Yeah.
Like, you can't stay the hell out of it, man. Like, I'm okay.
Did anybody respond?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
But I showed him, I clicked on it and I go, "This is a 17-year-old boy who lives in Australia. I don't give a shit what Terry thinks at all. don't. And he's like, but they're being mean to you. And I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me in the least.
Thick skin, and you realize that the more comments, negative or positive, they just bring traction to your video. So you're like, sure, whatever, man.
And my thing is, nothing bothers me more than putting up a video and just no one says anything. Like, I'd rather people go, you suck, or this is the worst. At least, like, you have indifference is the worst. Like, I don't want, whatever. It's like, I'd much rather piss people off than have them not care at all.
Well, since you don't like comments, everybody check out Failed to Mention News. It sucks real bad.
Yeah, it's the worst.
There you go.
It's like my homage to people like Norm Macdonald and Dennis Miller and, you know, the SNL news desk and Seth Meyers. And I don't know. I think really bad jokes are really funny.
Yeah, especially when you can get a running theme of it's this, you know, I think Norm Macdonald was really good at that. Like, he'd have the same punchline for a lot of the same jokes. And you're like, oh, this is anti-comedy. You know, it's
yeah. And if anyone ever has seen my stand-up, they would know that this isn't the comedy I do. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like my stand-up's a bunch of hack punchlines.
Yeah. Just a guy. Just
I'm having fun. Fuck them.
Whatever. Strangers from the internet have a lot of opinions.
Sorry. That cursed.
So we're going to talk stuff that people got stuck in their bodies, 2021 edition. And this list is from defector.com. And according to them, all reports are taken from the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission's database of emergency room visits. All descriptions are verbatim. So there's a lot of orifices, Jeff, that we'll start from the top and go down. There's a lot of ear, a lot of mouth, a lot of throat ones, because we all have those.
Right.
So we'll start from the ear. We have a Christmas light bulb, melatonin gummy, lollipop. Somebody got a googly eye in their ear, a match, throwing beads at her friend and then threw one at herself and it lodged in her ear. I'm going quick through the ear ones because they're okay.
I have the best ear one.
Okay.
So when my son was 2, he had an ear infection. At the time, I was married to a crazy yoga person who was all about holistic medicine. And instead of taking our son to the doctor, she read that garlic oil helps with ear infections.
Yeah.
So she made some garlic oil and applied it in his ears for about a week and wasn't getting any better. And finally, when she was at work one day, I'm like, I'm taking this kid to a doctor. Like, I'm taking him to the you know, the minute clinic type thing. And he's having ear infections in his ears. So the doctor's like looking in there and he goes, and you can tell, like, he's like, what the fuck? And he like goes over and grabs some like those long like tweezers. And he starts like pulling things out of his ear. He goes, what is this? And he shows me, and I was like, I have no idea what that is. And he's like, there's a ton of it in here. And he's like, is this garlic? And I was like, oh yeah, my wife's been using garlic oil in his ears or whatever. And he's like, you're supposed to strain the garlic out. And I go, yep. I you know, can you get the garlic out of my? So he had to spend like 20 minutes each ear pulling all the tiny little pieces of garlic out of my son's ear and thinking I was the biggest idiot in the world.
Yeah.
and I was like, you're right. We're stupid. This is why we shouldn't have had a baby. We aren't responsible enough for a baby.
How did that go when you said, oh yeah, the doctor said don't do this?
Oh, well, she was really upset that I took him to the doctor. So
and then
it was like a 5-day fight, to be honest, if you want to know how it went.
Yeah. So it went really well.
Yeah. But I'll tell you this, we don't use garlic to treat ear infections anymore.
And you know that the doctor wasn't a vampire, which is always good to know. You know,
That's always good to know.
I'm gonna need to take some blood.
What is this shit? Like, this doctor's just perplexed.
Yeah,
And I was too. I'm like, I don't know what's in his ear. Like, wax. And then
Do
he
you
like
ever
kind of smelled it. Is this garlic? I'm like, oh yeah, she's been
putting garlic, just breadsticks in his ears? Do you ever see those things on TikTok where it's people getting their ears cleaned out?
No.
That is, I want to do it because there's like different ways. Like they'll put a camera on the end of like one of those pen cameras, and then like you could see them like extracting things out of people's ears, and then the outcome is always like, I can hear better. It's like,
really?
Yeah. Or like they have like one of those, I think it's like an irrigator, or maybe the brand name, but it's like one of those water shooting things. And it's clear water for a couple seconds, and then just brown coming out of there. And it's just,
dude,
I know.
Have you seen the ones that have, it looks like a rubber corkscrew?
Yeah,
it's like on a motor that you're supposed to jam in there, and it like uncorks all your.
You know, there's a guy out there with a drill. Like, we don't need to pay the Minute Clinic to do that. Let me get this DeWalt.
Grab the cordless, Timmy.
Yeah, put some garlic on the end of this drill bit, and we'll take care of it. Somebody got a piece of cake in their ear. A mothball eucalyptus oil, so that's, you know, some oil, I guess.
There we go.
Bleach, and then here's one that I thought was odd, was gasoline in the ear.
In their ear. Were they trying to like kill an earwig or
yeah,
bug that is?
I've gotten it in my mouth before, siphoning gas. You know,
the worst.
It's always, you know, when you're like, you got to work on your own stuff. That's always, not that I'm above working on things, I just don't know how to do it. So like,
exactly.
Yeah. And then you just get a mouthful of gas and you're like, well, okay, I'm glad this is going well.
I've never siphoned.
Well,
I'm an anti-cipher.
I'm an anti-cipher. I think the first time I ever did it, my brother showed me how to do it, because my grandpa had it was a Caprice Classic, big gray Caprice, and it sat in the garage because he had died, and then we're getting this car running, so either I could drive it or my brother could drive it, as like, you know, we're young kids trying to get this car going, but it's had this old gas in it, so we siphon the gas out. And just being stupid people that you realize in hindsight, this is terrible for the environment. We just let it go out onto the ground.
No,
just gas
all over. Yeah, don't know any better.
Gas all over. And I'm wearing these shoes, whatever shoes I was wearing, just walking around all over this gas. We get the gas out, get it, new gas in, starts or whatever. And then I go to the school the next day, and on the way there, the people that take me to school, they're like, oh man, it smells like gas around here somewhere. And I didn't think about it, and then I get to school, and first period's like, somebody smell gas. So,
was this at Roncalli?
Yeah, Roncalli High School. So all day I'm wearing these gas shoes, and at like just random times people would be like, you smell gas? And I just be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Gas? Like, gasoline? I didn't fart.
Yeah. So I'm wearing these gas shoes around school for a whole day. So that was a fun story of siphoning.
That's funny.
Somebody got a circus peanut in their ear, which is probably the best place for that. Sticky Putty was playing with her hair and trying to put it up with a phone charger. States the end of the charger went into her ear. Again, I don't how far, like, because this is a doctor visit.
Right. Well, my favorite, and my girlfriend was just telling me about the other day that she watched somebody behind her in line, or I believe behind her in line was had his eyeglasses off.
Mm-hmm.
And was using the end of the to dig in his ear and clean it out, and then was taking out and looking at his work, like seeing how much wax he drank. But then that reminded me, my dad is a car key ear cleaner guy. He'll just take his car key and just run it through there. Like, and then he just takes it and wipes it on his jeans. It's the most disgusting shit ever.
Look, I get like you're cleaning it out and then you look at it. It's like you take a poop and then you look at the poop just to be like, what are we working with today?
But you weren't in line at the Arby's.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wasn't at Speedway gas station just cleaning my ears. Like, let's, and that's what he does in public. So imagine what this dude just sticking places and or that he doesn't want you to know about. We got some nose ones. Stuck a hard poop up her nose that she found in her sister's drawer in the bedroom is one of them.
Hard tooth?
Poop. P-O-O-P.
Poop
that she found in the drawer. So she found the poop and then stuck it in her nose, but she found it in a drawer, I guess.
Way before I ever had my son, I once got a gram of cocaine stuck up my nose.
Still up there.
Yeah.
Can't find it.
I could never get it out. I tried.
Put metal wire up the right side of his nose in order to unclog his sinuses, and it caused bleeding. That's just crazy that I can't believe that his nose started to bleed.
Well, that's why they no longer have wire coat hangers.
Yeah.
They only use plastic. It's because of all the stuff people were doing with the wire ones.
That's why Carrie's mom said no more wire hangers.
Exactly.
It was either for abortions or nosebleeds.
Although I will admit this, like I've taken the Kleenex and like twisted it real tight and seen how far I can ram it up into my brain when I was trying to when I felt something was way up there.
Yeah. Well, you got, but it wasn't a metal wire,
No, it was wire free.
In the winter, I'm just prone to, my body's dry. I stay dry all the time, and I will get nosebleeds. And as an adult, you're getting a nosebleed. People just think you party.
Oh,
but
yeah.
No, I'm just dehydrated all winter. That's my problem.
I just naturally assume one of two things: either you're doing the cocaine, or we missed you picking at it, and and you dug a little too deep, and you released the floodgates.
little from column A, a little from column B. Was picking her nose with a coffee stir, and it broke off in her nose. She reports trying to get it out, but it went up further. Oh my God! Well, and last year and this year was the year of sticking things up your nose. I don't know how many COVID tests you've had, Jeff.
I've had a few,
but the first time I had one was not me doing it, and it was a nurse. And my God, I was like, oh, like I started almost coughing in this lady's face because I've never had anything go up that high before in my nose.
Luckily, I got COVID the second half once they realized they didn't have to put the Q-tip all the way into your brain.
Yeah.
And so I got the lucky test. But
no,
I saw how far they were putting up people's noses. I'm like, that's not natural.
No. It like I just had to stifle a cough because again, you're getting tested for COVID. I didn't think I had it, but it was to get in somewhere. But it's also, right. I don't want to be coughing in this lady's face, exactly. Pandemic or not, Somebody said a bullet. They got a bullet up their nose.
I could see that. It's shaped right.
Perfectly, but who's playing with a bullet in that way, Thankfully, it was, they were alive to report
story
it.
On the Bob and Tom show. We have a famous story about Willie Griswold putting some blueberries up his nose and getting them stuck, and Tom contacting the doctor, and the doctor saying, just blow into his mouth super hard. It's a sealed your body is a sealed so wherever something goes in, something has to come out if there's enough pressure applied. and ended up shooting blueberries across the kitchen out of his child's nose.
That's great. Yeah, just give him mouth to mouth to get those. And I would be like, close your eyes because that the pressure is going to shoot out of your eyes. Soda can tab, dish soap, rock from a fish tank. The patient was attempting to pierce her own nose when she accidentally stuck a bead up there at her nostril. Cat food, toy.
I want ages on these.
Yeah,
like some of them, if they're 8, it's like, yeah, I could see doing that. But if they're 42, like, come on.
Yeah, let's. I don't know how much it costs to get pierced, but I imagine if you're 42, you got some money to be thrown around to get your.
It's like $12.
Yeah,
it's far too cheap.
Here's one that involves a number, but it's not an age. The number 8 button from the TV remote got stuck up there. So I guess, with your parents, mom discovered a plastic bead stuck in her nostril. We're getting a lot of beads up noses. So maybe don't give your kids those.
Yeah.
Throat was holding a pill in one hand and his earbud in the other hand. Got distracted, took the earbud instead.
So did it get stuck or did he swallow it?
I think he swallowed it and it probably got stuck. So I imagine just taking an AirPod orally, like it's a.
The weird thing is, we cover a lot of news of the weird, and that's a very common thing is people thinking they're taking medication in one hand and swallowing their earpods that are in their other hand. It's happened like 4 times in the last like 2 years.
Yeah. That's why I always wear the corded headphones. That
exactly.
doesn't happen.
You don't have to worry about that.
I'm dumb. I know that's going to happen.
The only thing I've ever had stuck in my throat, and I think it's super frustrating, it happens like once a year, I'll get like a Dorito that I didn't chew up properly, that I feel like 3/4 of the way down my throat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there for like 2 hours. I'm just over in the corner like a cat, just going
yeah.
trying to knock it out, and you can feel it like lodged into your side of your esophagus.
And you're like, oh, that's good for the inside of my body, just a sharp chip slowly going down. Have you ever had to have anybody do the Heimlich maneuver on you?
No, you?
No, I haven't. I know how to do it, but maybe I've seen one person do it. And then again, I could just be confusing it with a movie. That's where my memories are.
Yeah.
My memories. I think I was storming the beach at Normandy, or is that was a movie? I don't remember at this point, Yeah, I've seen people choke, and it's always scary, but I've never had anything stuck in my throat either that I think I can think of that I could say on a podcast at least.
Yeah.
Here's one similar to the AirPod. Was at home eating popcorn while holding coins and mix them together. Same concept, different.
I'm pretty sure that's just called pirate's booty, isn't it? If you eat coins along with your popcorn,
you gotta bury that treasure somewhere. I can't stand to touch money, especially change.
Oh,
I'm not gonna eat while I'm holding money. That's gross.
I'm with you.
In the throat, a video game cartridge. So I'm assuming this was a Game Boy or smaller one. Was in the hospital lobby chewing on plastic bottle when she accidentally swallowed it. So she was in the right place.
What? How big of a plastic bottle?
I guess something like this. Like I'm holding it like a 16-ounce bottle of water. Probably swallowed.
Is she single?
Well, if she is, you could put one of these on there, Jeff. A ring pop. Somebody swallowed a ring pop.
I could see that happening.
A SIM card, a USB cable, inhaled a sewing needle and plastic tube with a string attached when trying to use it as a blow dart. Now,
I know you're way younger than me, but we had this thing when I was like in 7th and 8th grade where someone in our school, and I'm sure they learned it from a brother, cousin or something, but they found out if you took a Q-tip and you took all the fuzz off one end,
Mm-hmm.
you could take a sewing needle and stick it in the end.
Okay.
And it would go perfectly out of a big pin, like a blow dart.
Okay.
So all the boys in 7th and 8th grade at Nativity, we all had an whole assortment. Like you would get your mom's empty medicine bottle and it would hold like 12 blow darts. And you would take them to school while the teacher's up there. You just shoot somebody on the side of the face or in the back of the neck or just in their chest. And they can't make any noise because then you're all busted.
Yeah.
And we got away with that for like 3 months. Just how much disease we were transferring. I mean, just shooting needles and then pulling them back out and shooting them in somebody else.
So they would stick in somebody's skin?
Oh, yeah. And not that deep. Like they were easy to take out, but man, they hurt like a son of a bitch when you get shot.
That was a concept that was lost on us because we never had that. It was still spitballs.
But if somebody was doing it, you tried to hit them in the stomach so they would do the and to see if you could get them to swallow it. But it never worked.
The only there's that magician trick of swallowing needles and it comes back up threaded. And I don't even know if they're swallowing it. Yeah, like where they'll like swallow a needle. And again, I'm assuming they're swallowing it. I don't know. But it'll come back up and they'll eat a thread too, and then it'll come back up and it's the needle's threaded. But again, that could just be magic and I could be dumb. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's just sleight of hand.
One of the things that we did in high school was not I wasn't a spitball kid, but we figured out that it was right when like cell phones came out. So I had a flip phone, but and where Roncalli, where we went to school, it was if your phone went off, that was an immediate, you got suspended for a day, which is a harsh thing.
Whoa.
But nobody had I saw very few phones, but you could like there was this one in chemistry class, we started to do this thing where you would start to hum and go like it's vibrating. I don't know if the mic picks it up that well. And then so the teacher would come to that side of the room to see whose phone is going off. And then somebody else on the other side of the room would start doing it. So it would move around the room.
That's so good.
Yeah.
What an innocent prank.
Hurts nobody. Fun.
That's great.
Somebody got a in their throat, a cologne sample. Was swinging on a swing and his brother threw some gravel in his face and he inhaled the gravel. Somebody got the birth control pills stuck in the throat, so I don't know if that was the whole thing or just one.
You're taking it wrong, Jennifer.
Yeah. You got to take it out of the thing. Was playing in a soccer game with friends. He had a thumbtack in his mouth, and when he got excited, he aspirated the thumbtack. Take the thumbtack out of your mouth, regardless of the activity. Stop,
dude. There's something about kids putting shit in their mouths. Like my kids, you'll be like, "What's in your mouth?" And they're like, a bottle cap, and you're like, "Get that out of why? Get that out of your mouth. You're gonna choke."
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Listen to this podcast.
There's 2 different years worth of this stuff.
Yeah.
A guitar pick. Somebody said he was drinking a soda and saw a nail at the bottom. States kids placed 2 nails in the drink and he swallowed one. So he got his drink spiked.
Boom.
That was a childhood fear, was like breaking the tab off of a soda can and then it going in there and then somehow drinking the tab, which yeah. Also,
I want my cans with tabs on. I'm a tab on kind of can guy.
That's why I always respected you, Jeff, was this. I don't know if you had parents that were smokers or relatives that were smokers, but you can always tell when somebody's a smoker because you take a big swig out of something that's just full of cigarette butts. Just the thought of it makes me want to gag.
I was spending the night at my best friend Chris Hume's house one night, and at his house you were allowed to have Cokes, which was why we all hung out at his house, because his parents didn't care. They just had a whole fridge full of pop, and you could help yourself. And so we were up in his room. I was spending the night, and you know, there's a bunch of Coke cans and stuff, and I had like in the middle of the night got thirsty, and I reached over to what I thought was my Coke can, but it was like an old Coke can.
Yeah.
And I took a huge swig, and I was like, oh, it's old and it's tarry. You know what I mean? And then I was sitting there for a second, and I'm like, what is moving? And I like turn on the lights, and the can was full of ants, and I swallowed like a big tar full of like ants encased in Coke, in old Coca-Cola. And it was I didn't get back to sleep that night. It was so disgusting.
Oh my God. That was not as bad as I thought it was going to be, because I figured it could be like, oh yeah, his dad would dip tobacco and just you know, you could like I'd have friends and they're just carrying around a bottle full of brown.
Oh yeah.
Just god damn, like that's so gross, man. And then throw it away. Don't be leaving that around.
Oh man. Like at least get a bottle that's dark. Like,
yeah.
don't have to look at it.
Yeah, Mountain Dew's not that color. I know. Yeah, exactly. Final one for the throat. Confetti started coughing and some came up. So I like that one. That's festive.
Was it Rip Taylor?
yeah, just coughing and the confetti just starts coming up. I'd be concerned, but also be like, this is a good show.
Were they at a Globetrotters?
Yeah, Globetrotters.
Second row at a Globetrotters. Hit with the confetti out the bucket.
You've seen the Globetrotters, obviously, then, right?
Brent, do you and your listeners have 4 minutes that you'll never get back?
We've got plenty. This is why.
Okay. So my son used to attend a hip hop dance academy. Well, a dance academy where he took hip hop dancing.
Yeah.
And he'd been doing it for like a year, and we get a letter from the academy. They're like, oh, we have been chosen to dance at the halftime of the Harlem Globetrotters show.
Mm-hmm.
This is a huge honor, blah, blah, blah. We're going to get matching outfits. That's going to be like $120 for, you know, letting you know how much. And you're like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. Like, I mean, what are the chances? I mean, they must be way good if they're getting chosen to dance at halftime at the Harlem Globetrotters. Like, that's awesome. And so then, like, a month before the event, we get an email that says, as part of the Harlem Globetrotter thing, each one of our dancers needs to sell 20 tickets to be able to participate. And it's like, or actually, I'm sorry, it was 10 tickets, but the tickets were like $44.
Yeah, that's not cheap. That's not $10, you know.
Yeah. So, or your kid doesn't, if you don't sell the tickets, your kid doesn't get to dance at halftime. So for my kid to dance at halftime cost me about $600 after purchasing all the stuff. And come to find out, we get there, my son's dance team is not the only team there. At halftime, there's 2 other teams, and there's 6 teams before the Harlem Globetrotters thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, people are coming in. So what the Harlem Globetrotters do is they go to a town and they talk to all the dance companies in the town and convince all of them to come and dance and sell tickets to their show.
Yeah.
So from the math of all the kids I saw, more than half of the people at the Harlem Globetrotters thing were people who bought tickets because, you know, their granddaughter, they wanted to come watch their granddaughter dance before the Harlem Globetrotters show. So it's the Globetrotters are a huge scam. They have pyramid, no fans. They bring in a bunch of other people who have fans and just piggyback off that shit.
It's in the comedy, they call that a bringer show. So that this is a bringer dance troupe thing.
Yeah, but there's like 60 kids in my son's dance academy.
Yeah.
So, and they all had to sell 10 tickets.
Yeah.
At $44 each. Like, how much money is it? Like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Now, was this like besides the kids, would you say there's a lot of people there? Like, you could maybe tell that, oh, they just came not for anybody dancing, that just they want to see the Globetrotters, or could you
Let's put
not
it
tell
this
that?
way: there were probably it was in Conseco Fieldhouse, which is in Indianapolis. If you
Yeah,
haven't
where the
been, or
Pacers play.
Bankers Life Fieldhouse, or whatever the hell that.
Yeah, believe
Subway.
it's Gain Bridge or Bainbridge. I don't remember what it is now.
So
But
it's that where the Pacers play. So the place
yeah.
is huge, and none of the top sections open. It's just the lower section,
Mm-hmm.
and half of that's not filled. So no, let's say there were 1,000 people there, and more than 500 of them were because of tickets that the dance company sold.
And that they sold a timeshare, but it was just for the halftime.
Have you seen? There's a new Globetrotters though. They're coming back to Indianapolis.
No,
thank God my son doesn't dance anymore, so it's not going to cost me $600.
Yeah.
To go see the Globetrotters. Which, by the way, I was lucky enough as a child to go see the Globetrotters, and I saw them like, let's say 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Not one thing has changed. They do the exact. Talk about not writing a new act. But I saw they're coming to town again, and they're like, we're the all new Globetrotters with all new tricks.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed they have a little person now. So they're like, so who knows what kind of antics he's up to? Like, it's going to get crazy.
That's, I imagine there's not many new tricks to be written after you've written out, basketball court with people, like, unless you're bringing in major props. Like they would at a regular halftime thing. You see the mascot jump on the trampoline and dunk the thing.
They had some ladders out on the floor during the Globetrotters.
Okay, that's one of my favorite Simpsons things. Is Krusty bets against the Globetrotters. I thought they were due.
See, I would go watch And One.
Yeah,
like I'd go watch that all day long. But
yeah,
they're actually playing ball.
This is a wrestling match inside of it. It's because it's worked. It's predetermined.
Now, did the kids there love it? No, they were all it's almost like old school comedy. They're just like, okay, so you got confetti thrown on you. Like, it wasn't as big a deal as when I was a kid.
Vaudeville type stuff.
That's what it felt like.
Let's transition, a natural transition from the Globetrotters to things stuck in the penis, Jeff.
All right.
Smooth transition. Plastic fork, a spork, 4 plastic spoons. Those are not the top 3, but the first 3. So all utensils, and 4 plastic spoons stuck in the penis.
You're eating it wrong.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I imagine they find a lot of chopsticks up the penises.
There was one, a chopstick, and the thing 30 minutes later, the guy wanted to do it again.
Oh!
Come on, folks.
I have a friend who, and I don't even know what you call it, but sticks things down into his penis.
I believe that's called sounding.
Sounding, yes. He's a sounder.
He does that for his sexual pleasure.
Yes, and there's special tools designed that you buy, these metal tools that he does this with, and it just it makes me cringe to even think about.
Sounding is a practice where men insert specially designed items made from metal or glass into the opening and the end of their penis. The aim of the practice is to enhance their sexual pleasure and even encourage exploration of the penis by their partner.
Yep, from the inside.
I just picture somebody like loading a muzzle loader, just jamming it.
They tear off a little piece of loaded.
Spit down it. I've Google image sounding, and not for me, Jeff.
I'm not a fan.
Man, I'm not trying to shame anybody, but definitely this is not for me.
Yeah. Now I also have more than one friend who has piercings down there.
Okay. Again, not for me, but okay.
From the Prince Albert. I also know a guy who had what's called a ladder.
Yeah.
And his was 4 straight piercings across one way with balls on each side, and then 4 piercings the other way with balls on each side. So he had a total of 8 steel bars going through his penis.
Through like the whole thing,
the shaft,
not just
going up the shaft. Yeah. So it made like a kind of a crisscross.
Yeah, like it was
balls
weaved
up and down his. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're just being cocky. You got that much penis to be thrown around to be.
Dude, so much meat to work with. It's unfair.
Yeah.
It's unfair.
Yeah. Did you see this in person, or
him and I have a few friends who do porn, and so he does porn, and so yes, I've seen it, but not like I've seen it in pictures,
but not like, hey, let me come over here, let me show this.
Yeah, no, him and his girlfriend, they do porn together, and I'm friends with his girlfriend, and I've seen their pictures together, and so yes, I've seen his gigantic schlong full of metal. God, he also has another piercing through the end, and then one through the bottom of the head, and then a couple on the sack as well.
How does this guy ever fly? How's he get through security?
Doesn't sound like this guy flies. No, he lives at a fucking motel. Like, he doesn't fly.
That's like when people are like,
takes a van everywhere.
You see like people with a bunch of tattoos, and people will be like, well, if you spent that much money on blah blah blah, this guy's putting all his money in his penis, I guess.
Well, I guess it's where it pays off. He gets paid to bang, and I don't. So
yeah. Well, I mean, you Jeff, you could. We could.
No,
you need to sell these tickets. Sell these tickets.
These 10 tickets for $44 each.
And you could bang at the halftime of the Globetrotters game.
Or the WNBA. They need entertainment.
This one struck me as painful and funny, but a marble. So it got put into the penis, and I just picture, you know when you're out of toothpaste and you start from the bottom and squeeze it. Like, that's what I pictured.
I imagine that's how they get the stuff out.
Yeah, just like squeezing it, like, again, blowing blueberries out through the mouth. That's not even like a scientific thing. That's just like, just blow it. There's no, I don't know. Screw and a piece of a pin, tape and paper. Somebody put a chopstick in his urethra last night to make his penis longer, and was unable to remove it. So
I hope he went with like an actual like chopstick you buy, like one of the nice like pearl ones, and not just like a wooden one from the Chen's Chinese House of Bamboo.
Just splintery. Oh my God. Beads on a string, clothing price tag. It's such a weird thing to do. Here's one of my favorites: the end of a rat tail comb.
I don't even know what that is.
Which it's kind of, I had to Google it to see what that was, but it's like a smaller comb, and it's like tapered at one end.
Oh, okay.
But just the fact that it's called a rat tail comb is funny to me.
We had a story about a kid who, those little round magnets that like all cluster up into a ball or whatever.
Yeah.
He put a bunch of those down his shaft, and then they got to the bottom and all clustered up.
Oh my God.
And so, yeah, they had to like go in through the side, remove them.
Oh.
Another dude took his USB port and had like 3 feet of cord down into his shit. There's an X-ray online. I've seen it.
That's just like, if you ever like had an entertainment center and you got to get the cord in the back of the entertainment center so the TV can, like, that's the kind of, you're like feeding it when you're pushing something that doesn't straighten.
Oh man, like how bad do you want to charge your dick that you putting that down? Like just the end of like the charger for like your iPhone, like, not the USB part, but the tiny part. It's still pretty wide to be shoving down your penis.
Yeah. I
don't think I could get it down.
Anything is big compared to my urethra. And that's not even commenting on my size. That's just saying it's too big to go in. I don't want it.
Yeah, mine's an exit only. I have it tattooed on the end of my dick.
Yeah. That because that comes up so often that I have to let people know. Two tweezers, headphones to headphone cord to prevent wet dreams. So I don't know what science was behind if I stick the headphone.
I'm guessing
cord up.
this is what, a 12-year-old boy
Yeah.
who's like doesn't want to like jizz at his friend's house at a sleepover.
So
like,
you're damned if
I'll
you,
do. I'll plug it up.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So if you got the corded headphones, it's going to go up your penis. And if you got the AirPods, you're going to swallow them. We're not safe. Nails, a hex key, dart, bread twist tie, piece of metal from a COVID mask. And I had to look this one up because it made me laugh. While masturbating with a sewing needle, he lost control of the needle and it disappeared into the meatus of the penis. And I had to look up the word meatus, because in my head I just read the meatus of the penis.
Right, exactly. That's why I was like, yeah, we all have meatus penis.
What a fun phrase to say, because I had to look it up and it said meatus, but from here on out it's just the meatus of the penis.
What is meatus?
It's like the opening. I don't know why anybody would just say that word. I guess if you're
a doctor, just called a pee hole.
Yeah. Urethra, Franklin. Vagina, with the meatus of the penis. Spiked penis ring. So maybe your friend.
Oh wait, this stuff we've moved organs.
Yeah, into the vagina.
Okay, we're now at the vag.
Yes. Spiked penis ring.
Yeah, that makes sense.
2 halves of a broken colored pencil, disposable razor, hairbrush, barbell, a barbell. So,
it depends on what the weight is. I mean, how else are you gonna do your Kegels?
I know. I was about
to say, get some weight up there.
She got some grip strength on her.
She can hold 22 pounds with her lips.
That old John Fox joke. I don't know if you know it, but
smell my elbow?
No. Just saying the punchline of smell my elbow makes me laugh. Now, the joke, and it's from a guy named John Fox, a comedian. It was I had a girl so horny she sat on my palm. It felt like a horse was eating oats out of my hand.
Well, just for the people who don't know John Fox, and the joke I was referring to was I was with this fat chick the other night, and then the crowd goes, "How fat was she?" And he's like, "Smell my elbow."
Yeah, this is a guy. Yeah, you can look up. I'm sure his jokes are out there, because a lot of them are like street jokes that he just told really well.
Right, that he made his own.
Yeah, and yeah, that was my first ever host week, was John Fox, because he's notorious for the club we worked at, and the guy booking the hosts. If John Fox came through, it was just nobody else wanted to work with him.
That's who you were getting with.
So I had to I didn't go knock on his door, but I was calling, because when I picked him up at 7, he was asleep from being too drunk.
And what time was the show? 7:30.
Yeah, so it was
downtown. Half an hour away.
Yeah. That kind of stuff, to where it was and I guess one time he was gonna throw up in somebody's car, and he's like, "Don't worry about it, I got it." And he took his shirt and he stuck his head inside of his shirt and threw up in his shirt. "Don't worry, I got it.
I got this." He did.
Yeah, he's since passed on. Barbell, pill bottle, 2 batteries, penny, and a shampoo cap. Again, stop putting change, and just stop touching change.
Yeah, it's not a coin purse, ladies.
Penny for your thought. What rhymes with thought, Jeff?
I don't know.
Penny for your twat. My
How
wife.
did I not see that?
My wife hates that word. There's very few words that she's like, "Don't say that." But that's it's a funny word.
What's her other hated words? Is she moist?
No, not moist. She the C word doesn't bother her. It's probably, you know, when you hear it, but twat is one of those.
Oh, dude, twat is such a funny word, though, to
Yeah.
take that off of the.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing to do is call a dude a twat. Quit being such a twat.
Yeah, that's
look at this twat over here.
But in reference to a female genitalia, nobody that's ever said twat has also been like wearing a cashmere robe and like holding a glass of vintage scotch. Like it's not an upper class word. It's not a guy that lives in a mansion, you know.
Like if I was hearing locker room talk and a guy was like, "Ah, you should have seen her twat," I'd be like,
Yeah.
"I bet you that wasn't consensual."
Yeah, that's there are certain words people use. I'm like, I know the quality of your character right there.
You are a dirtbag, sir.
Yeah. Patient was having sex with her boyfriend last night and a vibrator was placed in her vagina. It is still vibrating and is stuck.
Okay, I can see that happening.
Just, can you imagine just it's stuck up in there and still going? Like, just batteries, please. Why did we have to get the good batteries?
Yeah. Why'd we charge this right before we started?
Yeah.
Can you imagine just her teeth chattering as she's trying to tell the doctor?
Hey, your phone's ringing. That's not my phone. Will somebody, for the love of God, answer their phone? Toy dinosaurs, a candle, a unicorn. So I imagine that's a toy unicorn.
Right.
Husband's wedding ring. Hey, if you're gonna lose it, let's lose it. You know.
I mean, they don't. Do people even have class rings anymore? Because that used to be the joke when I was coming up.
Okay, that's
you know, like you know, she did the splits and 3 class rings fell out. You know,
that's funny. The guy that says that joke says twat. Glow in the dark ball. A lot of good that did.
Well, it's easy to find.
Yeah.
I see it in there. Get to it.
A detergent pod. So we've really taken this Tide Pod challenge to new heights.
I guess it's better than eating it.
And a Spider-Man action figure.
I once put a baby up there like that.
You put it back, a whole baby, or was eventually it came out a baby?
It didn't go in as a whole baby, but it came out as a whole baby 9 months later.
It's like how when you get stuff at IKEA, it's not technically a shelf, but eventually it becomes a shelf. And then finally, the thing we can all relate to besides nose and throat and mouth, the rectum.
Now, have you seen the meme going around this week or last week? The one that says, just to let you know, nothing accidentally ends in your rectum. Signed, ER nurses everywhere.
I have not seen that, but that's there's always like, oh, I fell on the tweezers. No, you didn't.
From how far up?
How do you store things and where you live? You know. Somebody said a bottle cap, so maybe that was the person that swallowed it, and then eventually it got stuck.
Or they may have just been trying to impress their friends with how they can pop the top off their Miller Lite.
Hey, I don't have an opener, but come over here.
Yeah, come over here. Get it in there.
A plastic soda bottle. Butt chugging. They was joking around with friends when joke was taken too far and a can was put into his rectum.
Now, I did not know until I started working at the radio station that the anus is a vacuum. Its natural reaction is to suck things up into it.
Oh,
and therefore, if you're ever putting anything into your anus, you should have a retrievable device that either doesn't get all the way in there or has a rope so you can like
pull it out,
fish it out when.
That's like, if somebody goes into a cave, they're like, hold this rope so we can get you back out.
Like, I guess that's why so many people get stuff stuck up there, because it starts like, oh, they just have the hot dog halfway up while they're jerking off. And then all of a sudden the anus sucks it in and they're like, oh shit, where'd the hot dog go? And then they're at the ER going, oh, I fell on this ballpark Frank. While I was watching the game.
And the thing is, I would venture to say most people in the ER There's no judgment. They don't care how it got up there. Just let's get it out, you know. Yeah, I guess it sounds like the butt is like when you get too close to the Death Star and you can't get away because of the gravitational pull. The bronze handle of a tool, a click gel pen, 2 batteries, a glue bottle. Somebody said went to sit down in the bathtub and sat on a plastic bottle of bubble bath that went into his rectum. Again, that's not what happened, but it's okay. I don't.
But that's why he told his mom.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, this Mr. Bubbles up here. Has anybody seen my bubble bath? No.
Have you checked my ass?
It's the same guy that pops the tops off the thing. Come here.
Come on.
If I squat over the running water, flathead screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver.
Now, were those discovered at the same time? Like it was a competition to see which was the better driver?
That these are separate incidents, but
I'll tell you, man, I'll stick by a Phillips all day long. Now, Ronnie, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. A flathead. If you're gonna put a screwdriver up your ass, you want to go with flathead, baby.
And don't use the Craftsman; those handles will break off.
Exactly. You want to go with a good tool. Get that snap on.
Yeah.
The snap on won't snap off.
Snap on. No snap off. Toothbrush case, pump action plastic alcohol dispenser, a bar of soap. Here's one of my favorites, a rolling pin. I don't know what's the size of the rolling pin, but I've not ever seen like a small rolling pin. But
yeah, well, and they actually have smaller ones.
Okay.
In my head, it's gigantic.
It's cartoonish. This lady's hitting her husband over the head with it. States he
okay, real quick. You can cut this out if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. But one time in my life, I put in my own butt a hit of ecstasy, aka MDMA.
Yeah.
With my lady friend. For our anniversary, we decided to take some ecstasy, and somebody told me, hey, if you put it in your butt, it works a lot better because it dissolves there, and then none of your stomach acid eats it, and you will get more effects from the drugs.
Yeah.
And since at the time I was a huge druggie, that sounded like a great idea. The only problem was about an hour and a half before, I had an amazing steak dinner. And about a half an hour into this pill being where it was, I had to use the restroom.
Yeah.
And to which afterwards I looked down and the pill was inside the toilet.
Yeah.
And I came back out, and my girlfriend at the time was like, what happened? And I was like, I lost it. And she's like, so what I go, well, I took it. Like, I got it back and took it. And she's like, you put that in your mouth? And I was like, no, I shoved it back in my ass. And she goes, oh, thank God. And that was the time I knew I needed help.
Oh, thank God that you fished it out of the toilet. Now,
hey, man, that was $30. I am not going to let $30 go down the toilet. The pill was 7/8 still there. I'm not losing that kind of money. I'm sorry, but that's where I was in life.
And was it nestled on top, or did you have to root around?
Yeah, it was pretty well.
It was like a cherry. It was like a cherry on top.
Like I definitely wouldn't have just like walked into a bathroom and saw it there randomly and been like, oh, I'm going to retrieve that if it wasn't my own. I took it. Let's put it this way: I took a shower after.
Okay.
Before it came back out.
So were they right? Did it kick in? And
oh my God, it was amazing. It was, but don't do that, like, because it might kill you. But it worked for me, and I loved it. So.
Yeah. You know, they're like, put vodka in your butt or whatever. What about the butt that it just didn't dissolve in the stomach, like you were saying?
It's all nerve ending. It's like basically like, and so everything just goes straight into your bloodstream, whatever you put in your ass. So That's why suppositories have a quicker effect than if you take medicine orally.
Okay.
Because it dissolves into your bloodstream immediately.
Oh, it's apparently I got a gerbil running through my bloodstream then.
You just let it dissolve all the way. You didn't take it back out.
Yeah, poor fella. But that we should do an episode on that, the gerbil thing, if that's even a real thing.
I do some research and find out.
Yeah, maybe that's the follow-up to this one.
Let's do it.
States he and his wife were having sex when she placed a rubber penis in his rectum and it broke off.
Dude.
Don't make me break my penis off in your butt.
Yeah. So basically he was getting pegged.
Yeah.
You guys were having sex. No, you weren't. You were pegging him. There's a difference. Which
is again fine, but let's get the facts straight.
Enjoy your stuff, but let's call it what it is.
Reports was playing with his wife when the cap of an aerosol can became dislodged and stuck in his rectum. What are you playing? Just say sex. Rubber.
What kind of aerosol can? Like, was it like a?
Yeah.
You know, like, was it Pledge? Like,
WD-40?
Yeah. I have more questions.
Rubber ball, squishy ball, stress ball, billiard ball. Those are all different accounts.
But how are you going to get... what do you do? Grab the tongs?
Just, brown ball, corner pocket.
Don't they call that like when you rip your asshole out, tearing your pocket?
Oh, I don't know. Whereas what is that where your asshole comes out of your butt? Prolapse?
Prolapsed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you don't sit on the bottom of the pool filter.
The guy that says tore his pocket says twat. Yeah, he had to go to the ER, tore his pocket real bad.
Tore his pocket.
Patient states was attempting to hold a ball in gluteal fold and believes it got lost. Not 100% that the ball is in his rectum. So before I go to the hospital, I'd be checking under the bed. This is the last resort. If I can't find it, I'm prying the dog's mouth open.
Dude, before I go to the hospital, I am laying on my back. I am throwing my legs back over my head. I'm going to grab a mag flashlight and the barbecue tongs and go to work. Like, I'm going to tear me up way bad before anyone else does.
Yeah.
Before I go out in public like that.
Yeah. The doctor's elbow deep and he gets a call. Hey, we found it. Okay, good. Good.
Doc, I don't know how to tell you this, but you can stop using me like a sock puppet.
Toy dinosaur, a toy rocket, puzzle pieces. So that's got to be frustrating. Just get the puzzle almost done, and then where's this corner piece right here?
Was it a brontosaurus rectum? Damn it.
That's good.
Not gonna work.
Tyrannosaurus rectum. I damn near killed him. Some marbles. I just like some marbles. States he and his friends had a practical joke going on with each other. This time he was sleeping when his friend put a dildo in his rectum and now unable to get it out.
Who are these friends?
How heavy of a sleeper are you? I know when you walk in the room and I can just hear you walking around, but apparently he's not noticing a dildo up there. Shampoo bottle, lotion bottle, hairspray. Having trouble going poop, so he placed a mechanical pencil in his rectum and now unable to remove it. So, you know what kind of pencil it was, Jeff?
A twat pencil? I don't know.
A number 2 pencil. It's got to be a number 2.
Oh, God damn it.
Sorry.
When you said I thought the penis thing again. I was just picturing him. Yeah. I was just picturing him clicking lead down into his penis from the mechanical pencil.
Ugh. Magic dice, head of an action figure, tweezers, scissors, towel with a sock over it and a glove over the sock. It's like a turducken. So it's
fucking
a towel with a sock over it, and then a glove over that sock. So, Axe
well,
body
you don't want to
spray.
get your towel dirty.
Yeah, let's be.
You got to
clean
dry
about
off of
this.
that later.
12-inch knife handle. 12-inch knife handle first in his butt. So yeah.
I've heard of sword play.
Man, sorry about your car seats. Was drinking with friends and believes that he may have placed a nickel and a dime in his rectum.
Now I can see that happening. Like,
hey, can you make some change for me? My brother, when he was stationed in Japan, told me about the lady doing a banana show. And she would put quarters up there, not in her rectum. But then you would say like 75 cents, and she would hit her foot on the stage, and 75 cents would come out. She could make change.
Yeah, I've heard that same story, but that you set your beer out and she would crouch over it and leave the change on top of your beer stacked up.
Okay, yeah.
In the story that I've heard.
And that's the thing is, so you're saying that's a similar story. And then there was another, I think the episode of Strip Club Stories on Reddit, one of the Marines that was over there also said the similar thing to the banana story. So from multiple accounts, this lady is pretty famous, I guess.
Now, I've heard of a woman who people we know have seen that can shoot like ping pong balls across the room.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
At the party, and can smoke a cigarette with it, like blow out smoke.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, well, again,
although I'd smoke a joint with her, just so I could say I smoked with a twat.
Well, this we'll wrap up on this one. Again, this is the rectum. Foreign body in his rectum. He states he believes it's a vape, but he's not answering any questions. That's what the guy said. Can
you
vape,
imagine the clouds he's blowing out of his ass?
God damn.
What is that, watermelon? What flavor you got?
That smells like cotton candy. That's not right. But that is the list, essentially, is the stuff people got stuck in their bodies 2021. Jeff, thank you again for being on.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm on the Instagram and the Twitter at Jeff Oskay.
Yes,
Oskay,
where you post your almost daily the news jokes. So I would definitely give Jeff a follow. It's funny, and it's also, if you had a joke that didn't hit as hard, then you're thinking, could I do better? And the answer usually is no, you couldn't.
Well, maybe you could, and tweet me what you would say and what your punchline would be instead, and then I can use it the following week and take credit for it.
Excellent. You could be Jeff's hiring writers right now.
Yes, for free.
Yeah. But again, thanks for being on, Jeff.
Always good seeing you.
See you, dude.